Hello, good evening, and welcome to St. Peter's in Hove. I'm Father Alexander, and chapter 37 of the book of Genesis brings us to the last great cycle of stories in the book, which is the story of Joseph. It introduces us to the Bible's first teenager. We're specifically told Joseph was 17 years old. Well, he seems like quite a nice boy, but he's very annoying. Funny that he's a teenager. Did I say that? Yeah. And he goes around boasting to his brothers, saying he's got special dreams, he's got special clothes, and so on. His brothers hate him. Now, you know the story about Joseph and the multicolored coat and how he has these predictions that he's going to come out top and so on and so forth. He's a boastful, painful teenager. And even his father, who loves him, tells him off. He said, "A fine dream for you to have," he said. And the father sends him off to go to be with his brothers, even though his brothers hate him. The father, Jacob, clearly thinks that Joseph is lovely, and the brothers just need to open his eyes to realize that, to agree with him. Anyway, then they see him coming, they throw him down the well. Fratricidal hatred is the subject of this story. But it's something a little bit more than that. It's fratricidal hatred, except one of the brothers says, well, let's not kill him, because, what good will that do, shedding his blood? Let's sell him into slavery. We'll never see him again. Another brother, Reuben, takes pity on him, says, well, we'll put him down the well, but I'll save him later. But of course, by the time he goes to save him, he's already been sold into slavery. But the moral of the story is fratricidal hatred is clearly a very bad thing. But there's a further moral of the story, and that is that Joseph will be the instrument of salvation of his brothers. He'll be sent to Egypt, he'll be made into a slave, and when his brothers are down on their luck, when they're starving, when they have nothing to eat, they will go to Egypt, they will win special favor, because their brother, who they sold as a slave, will by that time be the ruler of Egypt. And so everything works to the good of those who love God. And everything works to the good even of those who don't love God, even those who try and murder their brothers. They try to murder their brother, and by so doing, they actually do the opposite to what they would expect to be the outcome. They actually save themselves. Now, clearly, the stone rejected by the builders has become the cornerstone. Does that sound familiar? Yes, it should. Joseph is a type of Jesus Christ. He's a foreshadowing of Jesus Christ. He will be the savior of his race, but he will also be the one who will be the victim of the people he's very actually going to save. It's a wonderful story. It's the first time we meet a teenager in the Bible. It's the first time we meet raw human emotion in the Bible. That the reader clearly understands that sometimes people can allow their passions to run away with them, and that their dislikes can fester into murderous hatred. First time in the Bible we read about clothes, the multicolored coat, which of course the multicolors, very hard to dye clothes in those days, therefore an object of great luxury, and therefore leading to great jealousy. It's just like, I have a bicycle, but my father bought a Ferrari for my brother, therefore I'm jealous. The other thing that's clear is, of course, that Joseph is only half the blood of his brothers, because they're all from different mothers. Joseph is the son of Rachel. The brothers, are the sons of Leah, or indeed the slave girls that Jacob has had as concubines. Therefore, this inequality between the brothers has led to the hatred. And indeed, we're told that Jacob has made the biggest mistake a parent can make. I'm not a parent myself, so I'm just passing this on because I've heard it. And that is, he has singled Joseph out as a favorite. Seeing that his father loved him more than all his other sons, they came to hate him so much they could not say a civil word to him. In other words, it's Jacob's favoritism that has led to their hatred and also led to the big-headedness of their brother. So it's a fascinating story about a family dynamic. It's clearly a fairy story in the sense that it doesn't seem firmly anchored in the everyday. It's a bit like Snow White. it's a bit like, or not quite Little Red Riding Hood, but certainly like Snow White. That is to say, it doesn't quite follow the laws of politics, geography, and physics that you would expect. It's not exactly realistic. So, for example, the way that they lift up their eyes and those Midianites, Ishmaelites are just passing at that moment seems a little bit contrived. But the actual mechanics of the story are contrived to try and underline the rawness of the human emotion and also the foundational mechanism of God's providence. So horrible things happen to Joseph, yet he is the one that God has chosen. So we'll hear more about this later because I'll talk about Joseph again tomorrow. All the very best. Goodbye.